Velina mai kako, welcome to Keep It Aloha, a podcast that keeps it aloha by not letting your love go so far away. I'm your host Kamaka, and my love is staying right here today and will be poured into this episode and conversation with our guest at this very special location. But before we introduce her, check this out. Welcome to Keep It Aloha, live at Lē'ahi, filmed on location at Shangri-La in Honolulu, Hawaii. Shangri-La was established in 2002 by philanthropist Doris Duke as a center for the study and appreciation of Islamic art, design, and culture. Alongside its world-class collection of Islamic art and architecture, Shangri-La is a creative campus dedicated to fostering multicultural exchange and artistic expression through exhibitions, artists, residency, public programs, events, and convenings. Keep It Aloha, live at Lē'ahi, is a part of that mission, a storytelling series that celebrates voices at the intersection of creativity, culture, and community. In collaboration with Shangri-La and Doris Duke Foundation, we are proud to present this episode featuring Hawaii-born artist Irie Love, who joins us to share her journey, her voice, and the power of music. Pretty cool, huh? You should check it out one day too. All right, let's introduce our guest. Our guest today is an R&B reggae singer and songwriter from the island of Oahu. She first came on the scene as one of the finalists on the Brown Bags to Stardom competition in 1999. She then booked a tour as a backup singer for the artist Pink and continued as a backup singer for the next 3 years for artists like Dave Hollister and Chaka Khan. This island girl then took her talents to Kingston, Jamaica to pursue a solo career in reggae music, meeting the reggae group Morgan Heritage, then signing with their production company. She has traveled the world and worked with legendary artists like the one and only Fiji. Her singles, It Is Wut It Isʻ, featuring Fiji, and My Love have both charted at #1 on the Hawaiian Reggae Charts. Her single, It Is Wut It Isʻ, featuring Fiji, was also featured on Hawaiian Airlines inflight entertainment. She is a divine powerhouse, and I am so stoked to talk stories with her today. Her name is Irie Love. Aloha, Irie. Welcome to the Keep It Aloha podcast, live at Lē'ahi, filming right here at Shangri-La. How you doing?
Yes, aloha. So good.
Thank you for coming out over here and cruising with us in this beautiful location. How was your little tour right before this?
Yeah, this place is epic. And just learning that I had so many synchronicities with Doris Duke I didn't even know about. So it's a magical place.
Yeah, I really want to make a joke, the inside joke that we were talking about right before this podcast, but I'll save that to keep Evan's credibility alive with and maybe keep his job. Yeah. Anyways, I'm super stoked to get to know more about you, and I'm happy we get to do it here. Is there any part of this place that really resonates with you before we get into it?
Yeah, her bedroom. It's so interesting how she was really drawn to Indian culture because I did become a yoga teacher in 2019 and got to study a lot more about Eastern culture and spirituality. So it was really interesting to find out that she was really tapped into all of that as well.
Yeah, I feel like every time, this is the second one we've done in here.
Right.
But every time I come back, I learn something new, and it's super cool.
Yeah.
Even the history, just not even over here, but around this area,
Exactly.
with Lē'ahi and the beaches and the mountains over here. So cool.
Yeah.
But I want to get to know your whole life story. Let's start at the beginning. Where are you from? Where you grad? And what was it like growing up?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Kailua, Oahu, at Castle Hospital, which is now called something else, but same hospital still there. And yeah, my family has been here since the 1800s. My father is actually a UH football player, so he's Indigenous American and Jamaican. I met my mom here, but I grew up with my mom here in Kailua, and it was, I was just talking to Feao about how magical it is to have the privilege of being born in such a magical place and have my whole childhood be here. I know a lot of my friends would come and go. Sometimes they couldn't afford to stay here. And even still to this day, we're having that struggle, right, as Hawaiians. So, it's been such a foundational magic that I can really tap into because I grew up here. And although my family is very multicultural and multi-ethnic, I identify the most with Hawaiian culture because I grew up here. So really just keeping that aloha spirit as a resonance through everything that I do. I went to college in California and I played sports. My dad was a football player and an NFL player. And so I kind of followed that athletic path as well. But music has been really foundational for me. That was kind of the one aspect of who I am that has really carried me throughout my life to this point. So although I still do athletics, like I was saying, I'm a yoga teacher. I did personal training in Seattle and all kinds of other stuff. But the foundation of Hawaiian culture, I think, is so unique in this world, right? And so I don't take that kuleana, that responsibility lightly. I think it's really important that we, especially as people who have some sort of a microphone in front of us, that we use our platforms to really teach people and to show and share the expression of aloha.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a microphone in front of me, but I don't have a voice like you. So that's the only difference, I think.
Speaking works too.
Yeah, I use my Portuguese ancestry to talk.
Exactly.
But when you were growing up, did your family have a musical background? Because it sounds like you come from an athletic background. But were you, singing at home, playing instruments?
Yeah, my mom used to always joke that I was going to kind of be like another version of Whitney Houston. She had me listening to Whitney and Mariah and Chaka Khan and Sade. And we also listened to a lot of Christian music like Amy Grant and Crystal Lewis. But, like the divas. And I say diva in a really positive way, just women who are really standing in their mana and expressing vocally with big, powerful house voices. It's kind of always been my vibe. So my great aunt was actually a singer. She did like some off-Broadway stuff. So she was really dramatic. Her name was Joy, Auntie Joy, and she actually passed away right when I went to college. So I didn't get too much time with her, but enough to have an influence and an understanding that music is a part of my family, but nobody really pursued it as a career. And even when I initially started my career, I was set on being in the WNBA. Like that was who I was going to be. And I fractured my leg, and then Brown Bags to Stardom was happening. And my friends are like, "You're a good singer. You should enter the competition." I was like, "Yeah, right. I can do kanekupila, I can do karaoke, but singing in front of people as a career, for some reason, I just didn't make that connection until I did the competition and I ended up winning. And I was like, oh, maybe I can actually do this." So it's interesting how we can have certain passions in our life and how the influence of the people around us can help us to see things that we're good at that maybe we couldn't see on our own.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I would have been in the NFL if I didn't hurt my ankle when I was in high school. So I understand that path, Yes. I was, I could have been in the NBA too, but my parents never put me in basketball. But guarantee I could have been in the NBA.
Guarantee.
Yeah, so you were in Brown Bags, but what was your bag, in basketball? Were you a dribbler, shooter, driver?
I was a strong forward. I'm 6 feet tall. So since I was young, people would always ask me if I played basketball. So I'm like, I guess I better play basketball. But shout out to Brandy Richardson and all my girls at Kalaheo. We were champions all the time. We were sponsored by Fila. Okay,
oh, wow.
So we were really legit.
Yeah, you had those sweater vests.
We had the tear off kind.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, we had the tear off sweatsuits and the whole nine. And we were really, really good. And I really genuinely thought that was going to be my path. So, but it's interesting now as I look back. There were moments where my coach would get so frustrated with me because my talent would kind of ebb and flow. It wasn't consistent. And I think it was because I really leaned on my natural ability. And so now that I'm, older and I mentor young girls, I try to tell them, sometimes we have many talents and we have a lot of access to different things being cultivated. But I think the most important thing is figuring out what you're being told in your na'au, what your heart is leading you to. When you do the work, do you feel like you have extra energy? I feel like that is the key to finding out what your purpose is and what you would really be the best at. Not to say that you have to choose one thing, because I think that that's very limiting to have that mindset. we come in as multifaceted human beings with multi-talented, because we can dabble in many things. But there's definitely always something that has a little extra fire behind it. And that's what music has been for me. So even though I probably could really dedicate myself and have the discipline to be a professional athlete, I would sometimes be on and sometimes be off. And that was really frustrating for coaches, obviously. But yeah, music is just something that I didn't have as much access to the cultivation. But I remember my mom put me in accordion lessons.
Wow.
People even know what that is. I was like, what a dork. Why did I choose that? The only thing at the time that would have inspired that growing up in Hawaii was like watching the Steve Urkel show or whatever that show was called.
Yeah, stay tuned at the end when she gives us a little sample.
I haven't touched an accordion in many years.
Until today.
Keep
watching.
No, yeah. So yeah, I was in vocal lessons. My mom put me in voice lessons when I was about 10, and I studied Italian opera.
Wow.
So yeah, I dabbled in that in college. I was in a classical choir and sang Italian opera. So that was really foundational for my instrument to be refined. And obviously not something that's really playing on the radio in Hawaii, but the voice is an instrument just the same way that a guitar is. And in any way that we use our body, we can refine it to be stronger and to take the talent to another level. So yeah,
you bring up a lot of good stuff where, we have a lot of talent and passion growing up. It's like going to college. You're trying to figure out what you want to major in. And, sometimes we take a whole lifetime to figure that out. But I think what you said about like it brings you, not necessarily, you didn't say it brings you happiness, but like it charges you. Like you're excited about it. I think that's like if we think about whether we're an introvert or extrovert. If you're introverted, you recharge when you're alone. If you're extroverted, you recharge with others.
Exactly.
So I think if you think of your passion, like singing, that's always something that you're excited about. Every time you leave, it fills your cup.
Yes.
Whether, sometimes if you're like playing sports, you're happy, it recharges you, but then it also drains you to a point where maybe it's not the same as singing and, doing music. So I think if we think of it like that, what keeps you excited and what charges you and what fills your cup? Because at the end of the day, for example, like this, I don't like big crowds,
Okay.
I can adapt and I can do all the social stuff, but what I love is a one-on-one conversation like this. This is what charges me up. And not saying I'm a full introvert or extrovert, but doing this solo with just another person is what charges me up.
Yeah. And finding that, I think, should be more of what we cultivate in the youth, because like you said, like I went to college, but I kind of just like did what was the easiest.
You're talking to a communication major right here.
Exactly. So yeah, it was just like I wanted to get off the island, and my family was like, you're not just going to leave. You got to go to school. And luckily I played so many sports and did so many things that I was able to get scholarships and, go to the continent. And I still, like you said, I was figuring it out along the way. And I feel like so many people, university isn't even a requirement anymore. We live in such a different world now where we have so much more access to really explore who and what we want to be in this life. So I'm just really trying to be an inspiration to people, not only my peers, but those who are younger than me, those who are older than me, to like not define yourself based off of what the world tells you you're supposed to do, but like what is happening in here? What is this guidance? Because that, like you said, that is where you're going to find true joy.
Yeah, totally. And did you come to that conclusion while you were in high school still, or did that come as you were an older adult?
Yeah, I would say because I entered the talent competition and it kind of just took off. Like one of the judges was a local record producer, and this is back when we had Tower Records. And so they made like a 6-foot poster, because I'm 6 feet, a life-size poster of me. And like I was on the cover of Midweek and the Star Bulletin, and it kind of just like snowballed really fast. And so, yeah, I don't know if you want to jump all the way, but in 2017, I paused because of that exact reason. I went through some crazy stuff personally, and I was really public in Hawaii at that time. So it was much heavier.
Mm-hmm.
The whole celebrity portion of being a musician is definitely never been my goal or even something that I really enjoyed. It's just something that I know is a part of the work.
Mm-hmm.
And so being really public was really traumatizing, and I needed to just like pause and reset. And although it was like a moment when most of my team and my people that are around me were like, you can't stop right
You have
now.
all this momentum.
Yes. But
Mhm.
I had to.
Mhm.
And what that did was I went back into athletics and tapped into that side of me and kind of revived that passion. And now I'm back in music and kind of integrating all of it.
Mhm.
But I needed to pause because I needed to make sure that I was doing music because I wanted to do it.
Mhm.
You know, once you start to get all these attachments of people's expectations of who you are to them, and then you feel this pressure to show up as that person for them, it can be easy to lose sight of like what you truly want.
Mhm.
So taking that pause really allowed me to find what aspects I really wanted to bring back online, and also showed me that I really do love singing. I
Mhm.
really do love making music, and I love the way that it allows me to connect with so many people without having to always be in rooms with them on one, you know, individually or really personally. I can stand on a stage and there's thousands of people and I'm talking to all of them, but I don't have to, you know,
Mhm.
have that individual energy
Mhm.
exchange. Can be draining sometimes. So
Mhm.
the impact can be great with this type of platform. So I'm really grateful to have music as something that I can utilize.
Yeah, I mean, you can, I mean, we can, the audience listening can just be in our car listening to your songs and crying or
Right.
smiling or, you know, all these emotions that it's evoking inside of us because
Yes.
of your voice and, you know,
Yeah.
using your words and everything just touches us. You know, I think that's really cool. That's a part that I didn't even think about as a creator, right? Like
Yeah.
people are watching this and
Yeah.
we're not in front of them. We're
Yeah.
affecting them somehow, hopefully inspiring them to do whatever they want in their life. So that's
Absolutely.
awesome. You went to college at Azusa, right?
Yeah.
But where did you originally go there, or you?
Yeah, that was my
So
freshman. Yeah,
okay, from freshman
from
to
Kalaheo to
okay,
Azusa.
Kalaheo to Azusa.
Yeah.
And I mentioned on our call the other day that my sister went to Azusa.
Yeah.
She went with her friend Megan. I know, but a bunch of other people that went to Azusa as well that I found out like way later on, but
Oh,
it's
really?
cool because you don't know that many people from Azusa.
Yeah, it's a pretty
Yeah, it's a
small
pretty
school.
small. Yeah.
Yeah, there was one guy, he was a little bit older than me at the time, but he was an Olympic runner,
Mm.
Brian Clay. He was also
Oh,
from...
he went to Azusa?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got
I
some
tried
people.
to DM Brian. Brian, DM me back. I'm trying to get you on the pod.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should hit him up for you.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, there was a few of us, but it was definitely... it was a really intimate experience as far as like the university college, but because I was coming from Hawaii, it still felt really big to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally.
I definitely had some naivety to me in regards to, you know, how people are in the continent, and also just a little bit of an identity crisis because here it's easy for people to see me as Hawaiian, but over there they kind of try to fit you into whatever box is familiar, right?
I'm Mexican when I go there.
Exactly, exactly. A lot of Hawaiians become Hispanic. And not to say that we're all not on a greater scale one tribe, right? But we do have our own definitive cultures that make up who we are and that we're proud of. So it was an interesting dynamic to try to kind of educate people on who I was, and also just finding those gaps where I didn't resonate with like, you know, like melanated culture in America. I just didn't grow up with those things. So it was really interesting to feel so foreign because in Hawaii, it was like, I've just always been such a huge representative and like pouring myself into, immersing myself into our culture, that being there and having like one person understand it was really a big growth moment for me, I think, to really understand.
I can't imagine how different it was because my sister, she's younger than me. She's about 7 years younger than me. So she was at Azusa around like 2017. And by then, there's like a whole movement of like culture and identity already at this
True.
time. Right? Social media.
Yeah.
So they have, AAPI groups and all these other like Hawaiian groups, some more Polynesian groups where you
Right.
can find or build your community. And
Yeah.
you probably didn't have that when you were going to college, right?
Yeah, no, I was in the Black Student Association, and
Yeah.
I was like,
You had to fit in with whatever was offered, right? Yeah.
exactly, yeah. So yeah, it's definitely a beautiful time now to be able to explore and express our cultures and diversity. But I've also always felt like my mission in this life is to be a bridge. Because I do have access to so many different aspects of my lineage from both sides of my family, and understanding both the darkness and the light for all aspects, and finding ways to integrate that and build bridges with people around culture, around our physical appearances and how we express ourselves is really a big part of why I feel music is just like a modality for me to get the message out.
Totally.
Yeah.
So when you were in college, you were still doing music because you were already signed from high school, right?
Yeah.
So how was that trying to balance school and being a signed musician?
So when I left, I actually got out of my record deal. So I was signed for like 3 years, and we released a few songs. Ukla the Mock was actually my first
cool.
band. And we used to like record in Ryan's like garage or like spare room where he had like this studio that he built in Pololo Valley.
Wait, what was that? Was that the same time as Brad? Brad was
Yeah.
Watanabe?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Super
Yeah.
cool.
So Brad Watanabe, I mean, he was a little bit after me because he's a little bit younger than me. But yeah, we all kind of literally started in Pololo Valley. And I love that they're coming back now too. So they're so talented. And I miss those vibes of like that
legendary.
roots reggae vibe, But yeah, long story endless. I got out of my record deal when I went to Cali, and I just literally would do school, and then I had a car. So my parents shipped my car over. They bought me a truck my senior year.
Oh, nice.
As we do in Hawaii.
Yoda?
It wasn't also but it was a truck nonetheless.
Okay.
And I would drive into Hollywood and like go to open mics, go to auditions. Like I was on American Idol, I was on The Voice, I was on, even further back, I was on The Voice UK. I went and just tried out anything basically. So I and that's when I started getting the backup singing gigs and all of that kind of stuff. But I was really just trying to figure out where I wanted to be in music because I loved so many different styles of music too. So Fiji was really a catalyst to tell me to come back home, do reggae, launch from Hawaii, and then go out. Because obviously in California, I was small fish in a big pond. And so that's really when things started to take off, was because of Fiji's guidance.
Yeah. I got a cool image in my head when you said, start in Hawaii. I think when we think about plants or like trees or whatever, we have our roots. We plant our roots here in Hawaii. And the soil is so awesome here, right?
Yeah.
So we want to get all the nutrients from here, plant our roots here. And it's easier to transfer that to another place than to grow it somewhere else and then move it here.
Exactly.
Where the soil isn't as rich as over there.
Very
true.
true.
I think Fiji was totally right about that. Just like plant your roots here. Get everything that you can.
Yeah.
Go over there and then come back again.
Exactly.
Yeah. I feel like that's the way to go, and I feel like that's my path as well. We're born and raised over here, from Big Island to Oahu to studying abroad a couple of times to Madagascar, and then back here.
Wow.
And now I can bring all those experience back over here, but with the foundation that I had, in Hawaiian immersion, in the culture, even like all our other cultures, Asian and the other Pacific Islander cultures. So it's cool that we have all this blend, and we have, if we were just making some sort of like stew, whatever, we have all these ingredients, right? And then we can share that with everybody, and they're like, wow, these Hawaiians, they get good stew.
Right, exactly. The spice is right.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think right now, especially where we're like on this really cool trajectory of our culture with what was it? And then we had the movies, Lilo and Stitch,
Right.
Chief of War coming out.
Yeah.
So I feel like anybody who's Hawaiian or Pacific Island, this is a time we gotta make sure we get into the spotlight and, you know, come back. You're re-releasing some of your music, right?
Yes.
You got your album that's out. So I feel like this is like the perfect timing for all the creatives in Hawaii, or, you know, not just Hawaiian, to be like,
the diaspora.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely a time for all arts, right? Because like I was saying, like even just the invention of the internet. I mean, I know it was invented before, but like when it really became popular to utilize the internet and the way that we can connect and share now on a grand scale, like instantaneously, it's a really beautiful time to be a creator and to be able to find, you know, like I said, diaspora can be all over, and places that maybe never would have heard my music or saw your podcast or any of those things. We can reach people and make an expansion on tribe. And tribe to me is, you know, we say tribe, we say community. There's all these like niche words, lahui. But it really is true. I mean, we really do rise together. And so the more eyes that we can get, I always say that attention is currency, which is why we pay attention.
Yes, I love that. I saw you post that the
Oh,
other
you
day.
did?
I love that. I never heard that before.
Yeah, it's just, it makes sense. And it's why, you know, like ads and all of that is such a huge booming business. It's because our attention to things is currency. And so we have to be mindful of what we're paying attention to and empowering each other by supporting, watching, listening, showing up, and then sharing in the ways that we never really could before. So it is an exciting time to be alive.
Totally. I just, as I said that, or you were saying that, I just remembered, I wrote a lot of poetry, just rhymes growing up.
Yeah.
I barely write anymore, but I just remembered a line I wrote about that, like, she couldn't even pay me attention, but I gave her mine for free. Something
Whoa,
like that. Yeah.
see, you're already on the frequency.
I was like, oh wow, that would just pull that right from the ethers of my brain. I don't know. It's somewhere on my notes. But yeah, I love that you said that it's currency. And like you have to. And I think that's why it's so valuable, you know, where it's just like, that's why I love this, is like, how often do you get a chance to sit with somebody for an hour, 2 hours with no distractions, right? And we can just pay attention, you know. We're exchanging value, we're exchanging currency, mana, whatever, mana'o. And I think that's why this you know, this episode and these episodes on the podcast become so valuable, because it's like, it's free for everybody else,
right?
But it's priceless to me, you know, because it's all these people in Hawaii, you know, very influential from all walks of life, inspiring the next generation.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I'm stoked that you're on here and I'm learning more about you.
Thank you. Mahalo.
So I wanna get more into your music career. So you did all the things, you came back here. Fiji really helped you. You had a couple songs with him, like super popular song, millions of views.
Yeah.
And then, so you started to get really a lot of fame from that, you know? People really loved your music. And what was like the peak of Irie Love?
Yikes.
Well, there's always peaks and valleys. So you're wherever you are, because right now could be another peak.
Right,
you know? But back then.
Yeah. You know, I think it was the reception of my song, My Love, because the story behind that is, I don't even know if Fiji remembers this. I have to ask him again, but I was in this studio with Dimitri, who is now owns the Rainforest Room in Nu'uanu, where, you know, they did all the music for Chief of War. And like, it's this incredible studio that I'm so grateful to have access to, because Dimitri was my brada from Kailua, and we had like this small studio above his garage. And Fiji was just really telling me, you know, we have a momentum, we got to keep putting songs out, like just write a song and we'll put it out. So I don't know why I was frustrated. I was just feeling pressure. I'd never really considered myself a songwriter. I just am a singer who can write songs. So I love collaborating, because I feel like there are other people who are more talented in the songwriting, and then that brings out different aspects of my voice. So that's why I love doing stuff like with Fiji, because he inspires my writing just by what he wrote, and vice versa. But with My Love, I was alone. And he told me to hurry up for some reason. So I wrote this song in like 10 minutes, recorded it, and it's my biggest song
Wow.
to date.
So the lesson here is don't put a lot of effort into what you're doing. Just rush through it and you will find success in life.
No. I think what it was I was able to get into the flow state. And I learned more about that as I got older, what that is, because I definitely tapped into it when I was playing sports, right? Like when I was on and my game was, they were like, whoa.
The basket's bigger.
Right.
Yeah, you're
I
seeing
jump
the
higher.
lanes.
Yeah, exactly. So I was in flow state and I just poured the song out, or I like to think of it as like, once you are in flow, you're open. So the channel, so your ancestors, anything that's in your heritage from people who came before you, it's in your blood. And we can tap into that. So when we can tap into that, things come through that aren't really logical, that you can't really explain how or what or why, but it has a resonance and a magnetism. And so there is a magnetic frequency on that song that people have identified throughout the diaspora. I find that a lot of Hawaiians who aren't living in Hawaii or didn't get to grow up here really resonated with that song. And for me, I'm like, get chicken skin right now. Because I'm like, that's why I want to do music, you know, like for those types of moments where it's not the most technically outstanding song. Like I listen to people like Jasmine Sullivan, who's like doing vocal acrobatics that I could never even imagine doing, you know, or like DeAndre Brackensick. He's another one who we've had here in Hawaii, and he's an incredible singer that I admire his vocal ability, but it's not always about being able to do all the tricks, you know? It's about the frequency. And that song really taught me that. It showed me that. It opened a portal for me to know that not everything takes a huge amount of effort. Sometimes it's just to be in the moment and be present and allow something to come through.
Yeah. And I want to just add a little note on that, because when we talk about effort, I think, you know, even though we're saying like it didn't take a lot of effort, it seemed effortless, but that's only because of the work that you put in before, which made it that way. You know, it's like
Good point.
We see Stephen Curry make these
Right.
crazy 3-pointers.
Right.
And then you hear stories of, like, I watch all these podcasts about, you know, this guy talking about Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, how they shoot 100 threes before the games or during practice.
Right.
And they keep counting. And they're resetting their numbers every time it goes in. And he's like, why are they doing that? And somebody says, oh, because if it hits the rim, they don't count that.
Wow.
So when you see it go in like that, right? When
Swoosh.
when it's a crazy shot and it just goes directly, they practice that.
Right.
So it looks effortless when you're just throwing up these crazy shots, like, oh,
So
that was
true.
so lucky. But no, they put
Yeah.
thousands of reps in.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, everything led up to you doing that. And it was just like, well, this is easy for me because I already put in the work.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
I just wanted to give you your flowers for that.
No, thank you. Yeah, no, that's a great point, because I think it's important to... Do we have to wait for that?
No. They can enjoy the ambiance of the plane flying over. It's all part of the Shangri-La experience.
Indeed.
It's like they're actually here.
It's organic.
Yeah. Good thing they can't smell me though. That's the only
Grab
thing.
a fan, it's hot.
Yeah, it's a little hot. The pits are sweaty.
But yeah, the work that we put in, I think it is a very important point to make, because at the same time, that it's beautiful that we have a way to connect, and we have the internet, and we have all these devices where we can share with millions of people immediately, and people can go viral off of one little thing. At the same time, I have seen evidence of, you know, these people who go viral on TikTok as an artist, and then they go to do a tour and it flops because they haven't put the work in. And as much as work can be frustrating or painful, at the same time, I believe that that is how humans are designed. We're designed, you know, pressure makes diamonds. It's like you have to endure the pressure in order to hold something. So sometimes we can grab something because it's accessible, but can you hold it? The holding it comes from building the strength over time. And so that's when those little moments can happen, like My Love, where I'm able to just spit this song out and it has huge resonance, because since 1999 up to 2013, I was writing and creating and touring and performing and all of the things.
Yeah. So it wasn't just like a one overnight sensation. There was years before that.
True.
And I think we've heard, you know, multiple stories of like people who win the lottery and then they become depressed because they get all this money and they don't know what to do with it. Or, you know, viral sensations who get overwhelmed by everything because they just went from like 1,000 to millions of followers overnight. And I feel like the stories that really resonate with me are the ones who become successful and they come from nothing. Because I feel like those are the people that work extra hard.
Yeah. There's an extra level of motivation, right? When you're in survival mode, it gives you, I mean, it's like it makes or breaks you, right? And when you can take that pressure and use it as a driving force for you to tap in, I feel like energy is neutral and power is neutral. Even money is neutral. It's what kind of judgment or what kind of intention do we have with it? And when we can put our perspective and lock it into that space, then it is easier for us to collect more power and more access. And I feel like that's something that I really only truly started to learn and integrate like at this point in my life in the last 5 years even, because there's also like this, there's this aspect of our culture of humility, which I think is really beautiful, but it can also, like anything, if you take it too far to one side, it goes out of balance. And so what I had to learn was remaining in my humility, but also standing in my mana. And when we stand in our mana is when we can actually access all the things and the work that their ancestors did that have given us the opportunity to come to this point and use our gifts. So I feel like there has to be also like a balance of that, right?
Yeah, I think it's so interesting in our culture. There's this fine line between like humility and pride.
Yeah.
Where they're like, brah, be proud of your ancestor, be proud of your kupuna. But don't brag. Don't talk about don't boast. So it's like, wait,
don't be all
am I supposed to be
maka.
proud or am I supposed to be not proud?
Yeah.
So it's a little confusing sometimes with us growing up because,
Yes.
Especially in sports, you got to have that confidence, right?
Right.
But you don't want to seem too arrogant and, have people think, oh, this guy is so full of himself. So it's always still tricky.
Yeah, it's a balancing act for sure. Yeah, and
so,
you have to learn your space in there.
Totally. Okay, so I want to talk about that gap where you took a break and you really got into spirituality. Is that
Sure,
right?
yeah.
Spirituality or just like maybe finding some sort of different path or belief system. And so what was the driving force between that? Because, you got into yoga and stuff and it sounds like you kind of just did like a recenter of your, your life.
Yeah. Wellness was always something that I was drawn to as just a way of life. My dad was always like pretty disciplined. I mean, and still is to this day. I don't know what he's training for now. He's 64 years old and he's,
always training for something.
Always training for something, training for life.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be the most expanded version of myself. And so how do I do that? My examples were to refine and amplify my disciplines. So in what I consume, whether it's food, whether it's what I'm listening to, the environments that I put myself in. So I really wanted to dive into that. And for me, yoga was something I was drawn to, but because I was raised super Christian, I had a lot of conflicting ideas about what that meant. And so when I moved to Seattle and I just wanted to dive in and explore things and figure out what resonated with me. And the Eastern way of life, whether it's Ayurveda or yoga or all of these practices of wellness and spirituality too, was really exciting and empowering for me. So I decided to go through a whole training and become a yoga teacher without really necessarily intending to be a yoga teacher, but just to go through the training process.
You just wanted that journey.
Yeah. Because it was so transformative for people that I had spoken to, and I saw how it really helped to refine your perspective and your discipline in a way that I hadn't really seen in other, playing basketball, volleyball, soccer, canoe paddling. I played powder puff football at Azusa.
Oh, wow.
Like I did all the athletics, okay? And I didn't have that wellness and spirituality aspect. So I wanted to dive into that. And it really helped to open up for me to really fully embody, I think, the fullness of who I am. And now I have such a broader perspective on what our bodies are and how this is really a temple, and I think that aspect for me is what I would call my spirituality. It's like I became the church. And so anyone that I allow to visit my temple, whether it's in conversation or a romantic relationship, like I keep refining that and really revering myself as a temple, as sacred. And that has really aligned me with some really magical people and opportunities in this life.
So cool. I think of this one saying from one of our past podcast guests, Kalehua Krug. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but we were talking about the Hawaiian language and about learning it. And he said, you don't go to the forest to become a tree. And I feel like that's such a simple line that he shared, but I always think of it and think of like the journey that we're on. Like you didn't go into this yoga training to become a yoga teacher. You just happened to become a yoga teacher. But you were there for that journey, like what you were going to learn. You know, we go to the forest to learn about ourselves, to learn about others. And, you know, if you happen to become a tree, great, you know,
Exactly.
You know, but like that, I think the goal is always just to like get into these things, to like become the best version of ourselves, to learn as much as we can about ourselves and or others. And in doing so, you learn more about yourself. And I feel like that's what I've learned in my travels, and the more I've learned about others, the more I've learned about myself.
Exactly.
And I've really been able to like come into the person that I'm in. So I'm super stoked that you had that journey. Did you actually, I was gonna ask you something, but I know that's a social media question that we got, so I'm gonna save that for that.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let's talk about what you're currently working on now, and then we'll get into the social media questions.
Okay. Yeah. So I went to Paris in October. I recorded with an entire album with a producer so when I came back to music after 2017, taking a break, just being in fitness and wellness and all of that, I literally like didn't even tell people my Instagram. I didn't tell them I sang. I really wanted to have an organic experience of making connections in wellness and fitness that wasn't tied to this character that had been birthed from me doing music, and really just get into the organic version of Irie. And so when I did that, I lost my train of thought. What was the question again?
No worries. The train can go back on the track easily.
Derailed.
Doing music, and then you got you went to Paris.
What am I doing now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I had this song In Another Life that I recorded, and I literally still to this day can't remember where I recorded it. I have no idea. I recorded it in that time when I was doing fitness. So I think I just like recorded it, sent it to the producer, and they put it out, and I didn't pay a lot of attention because I really wasn't trying to pay attention to my music career at that moment. And the song blew up in Germany.
Oh, wow.
And so it got on playlists, and it just like went to 3 million streams like super fast. So when I was coming back to music and trying to find a producer that I really resonated with to create this new music, I kept trying different things, and it just wasn't working. And when it's too much effort and confusion, or not even effort, but resistance, I know it's time to pivot, right? And so when I pivoted to him, because we had success with one song, let's try. My manager was like, let's get you to Paris and just record a whole album with him and just try. And I'm like, okay.
You don't gotta convince me to go to Paris.
Twist my arm. Yeah. So I got to have this magical experience and go live in Paris. And actually, it was a really powerful, transformative time, because at the time, my stepfather was passing away from cancer. And the whole time he just, kept checking in with me and like encouraging me to not stop and to like really make sure I stayed and finished. Although I wanted to go see him because we didn't know when he was going to go. So I recorded this beautiful album with Matthew Boast of Boast and Bim. He's worked with Chronix and so many reggae legends. He's a Grammy Award-winning producer, and he is an incredible musician and also technical producer. So we have all this music, and we released the first half of it in March because we created so much, and usually people like have a record label, so they have to pick certain songs that are marketable. And I'm like, I don't have those confinements. I can do whatever I want. So why not just put it all out? So we made 2 parts, and a lot of it too is actually yoga music, I would consider. I did high frequency music that was tuned to 432 hertz, which is harmonic with the human body. Some of it's like meditation music. mixed in with reggae and R&B and jazz and all these other influences. So the second half of that album is going to be coming out this fall. And yeah, I've just been, independently marketing and promoting it. And it's really been beautiful to finally be back and making music that I love and that I can be really proud of. And then I've also been working on a book.
Oh, yeah, super cool.
So I feel like I've learned so much in my story. Whenever I talk to new people and I start to tell them some of my story, they're like, what? You should write a book. And I'm like, I heard that enough times. I'm like, I'm going to write a book.
Good, as you should.
The gods have spoken.
Yeah.
So I started writing this book a few years ago, and it's pretty much done because it's about my life and then the lessons I learned along the way. And I really wrote it with the females that I mentor in mind, because when I was a young girl, I wish that I had more insight as to a woman's experience. And so I'm writing it for my nieces and the mana wahine that I have connections with to just highlight the lessons that I learned so that maybe there's things that they can do differently. But hopefully that will come out at the same time as the second half of the album. That is my intention. But again, I'm independent in everything that I do. So as it comes, so shall it be.
Nice. So when you say the second half of your album, is that why it's like Reflections Part 1 and it's going to be Reflections Part 2?
Exactly.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. I was like, because I was listening to it and I was thinking, oh, I wonder when Part 2 is going to come out. So it's kind of close together. It's not like you're doing this and then years later you're going to release the other one. Okay, so we can look forward to that coming out sooner than later.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, one of my favorite songs I wanted to bring up was, I think it's called Believe. I'm a very big lyric guy. I just talked about this on Roman's podcast a couple episodes ago. Just because he just released an album which was like very heartfelt. It's like little different than his other, like Cool Down and whatever.
Right.
But it was these really like strong lyrics, and that song Believe really resonated with me.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Thank you.
I was trying to remember the lyrics before I came here, but it was how does it go? Can you?
There's things I want to say right now.
What is like the chorus part?
Don't you give up on your dreams.
Yeah.
Yes,
There you go. That's what. Yeah.
I will make sure that.
And then something I have your back or something.
Yeah.
Right?
So the intention with that song was I wrote it for my nieces and nephews.
Oh, so cool. Because I felt like that would be a song for people to really like uplift them, and like I'm all about the entrepreneurial spirit and like just believing in yourself, believing in others, and sometimes you need to back up somebody and just like give them that belief, so that they can go on their path. So
exactly.
I just wanted to say I really like that song.
Thank you.
It's on my likes.
Yes, love that.
All right, on. So let's take a quick shishi break, and we'll be right back with social media questions. All right, we're back from a quick shishi break, and we can't drink inside of here, so we go outside to drink. Just a cool fun fact of these episodes when we record here. Okay. Next, we'll get into the social media fan questions. I'm usually used to having a drink and showing the drink during these breaks, so I'm just I feel a little off right now. Okay. All right, let's get into the social media fan questions. First one comes from Tislo CCZ. This person says, where does the name Irie Love come from?
Great question. So my father's father was Jamaican, and he had a huge reggae affinity. And so he says that he named me after a song called Irie Itʻ by Third World. Irie Itʻ, Irie feeling, Irie love. So my mom wanted to name me Jasmine. And my mom was 18 when she had me. My dad was 21. So they were babies. And he just felt like he knew that my name needed to be Irie. And he used to put headphones on my mom's belly when I was in utero and play reggae music. And he said at the time he didn't really know what he was doing, but he thinks back and he said he did it because he wanted me to come out and enjoy the same music that he enjoyed, which is really cute. And then Love actually comes from my mom's side of the family. So I was born Irie Love Taylor. And then I got married and divorced and changed my name a bunch of times. And I just was always Irie Love something. So I'm like, I'm just Irie Love now because I've always been Irie Love. Love's Bakery was actually started by my great grandfather, Robert Love. And the reason I know that there's 4 greats is because one time I was trying to get sponsored by them back in the day. And shout out to Shannon Scott. We went and we did a bunch of research to find out and got my grandma to do research like, how am I Irie Love? And it was, it's a really cool, like, little fun fact about my family and Love's Bakery and all of that. So.
I saw that when I researched more about you.
Yeah.
So did they end up sponsoring you?
They didn't because they sold right afterwards to this Japanese
some
company.
Different owners.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they believed me and they were actually surprised.
Yeah, that is a really cool fact.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because like you have such a stage name.
Right.
You didn't even have to make it up. It's just that's your real name.
Exactly. Even last night I was at a grad party and one of the uncles was like, so what's your real name now that we're hanging out? I'm like, that's the only name I got. So,
what do your friends call you?
Yeah, exactly.
Irie Love.
They call me Eyes. Yeah, that's about it.
All right. Next question comes from Nani Tato. This person says, what did you learn by being a backup singer for famous artists?
I learned, one of the pinnacle things that I learned is that you should always treat everybody as if they are the same, as if they are important, as if they matter, as if they deserve consideration. I definitely experienced and witnessed a lot of mistreatment, and it was really unfortunate, but it was beautiful for me to learn, like, nobody needs to be treated without consideration. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
And I also learned a lot, especially like Chaka Khan. She would change. So she had 6 of us as her backup singers, and she would change what part we were singing. I don't know if she did it to challenge us or I was the youngest one in the crew, so she challenged me a lot. But it was a great training for my voice to like jump from soprano to second soprano to alto to tenor. She's like, you said you can do the whole range. Like, let's see it. So I don't know. I work well under pressure is what I realized.
Yeah. As an athlete, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Next question comes from Bita Cora para la Alma. This person says, when is she coming to Miami?
Un bonito a Miami. I would love to go to Miami. I've actually been to Miami several times back in the day. Another mentor of mine, Salam Remy, he's a legendary producer. He produced like the Fugees, Nas, Miguel, J. Cole, Amy Winehouse. He was been my mentor forever, and he lived in Miami and New York. And so whenever he was in Miami, I would go to his house and just vibe and listen to music. And he had this amazing property where he hated being social, so he built a beach in his yard.
Wow.
Like sand from the beach and everything. I don't know if that's legal, but so I have been to Miami, but I've only performed there like twice. So I would love, and just so that everybody knows, like, artists don't really choose where they go to sing, contrary to popular belief. We go where we're booked. So if, I have funding as an independent artist to set up my own tour, touring costs a lot of money. That's another thing people don't realize. So a lot of times when we go out on tour, we're not actually making money. We're just trying to break even for all the expenses. But long story endless, I would love to perform in Miami. Caribbean people, Hispanic people, they love reggae music. So yeah, hopefully soon.
Yeah. Oh, there's another song I like. I don't remember the name, but it's Afrobeat. It was like something.
Yeah, it's maybe the remix of In Another Life.
Was it?
It was the Afrobeat remix.
Yeah. That was really good. I feel like that song would do well in Miami.
Oh, totally. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. Next question comes from Bella Kalai. This person says, what is something that always keeps you grounded?
Nature. Yeah. If you follow me on Instagram, this is Irie Love. I am always going into nature. It was something actually when I was really depressed in 2017, hiking was something that I started to do. And living in Washington, even more so, I explored the mountains. I would go on 8-10 hour hikes. Wow. And it was so magical to really tap into nature in that way. Because obviously growing up in Hawaii, we have, I'm always at the beach. But going into the forest is such a different type of communion with nature. So even here, now that I'm back home, I probably hike almost every single day if I could. And it's really, a lot of times it's solo because I feel like I go to be with nature, not to be with people, although I do invite people sometimes. But grounding in nature and the conversation that I have, not only with myself, but I literally talk to the rocks and talk to the trees and the birds and the wind and really have conversation. And it just neutralizes my nervous system. It grounds me. It gives me inspiration. And it's something that I feel is so accessible that I think more people could really tap into.
Anthropomorphism.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. What hikes do you do? Please tell me not Cocoa Head.
I love Cocoa Head.
Oh, gosh.
I love it.
I'm a Cocoa Head hater.
Are you?
I just said,
Why?
when Kamaka Kehao came on the podcast, we had because he's like, I was like, what do you do for fun? He's like, hike Cocoa Head. I'm like, that's not fun. I was like, what are your hobbies? And he's like, likes Cocoa Head. I'm like, that's not a hike. It's a workout.
It's a workout.
I mean, if you want to work out, like that's a great workout.
Yeah.
If you're hiking, I feel like hikes should be leisure.
For sure.
You know, it shouldn't be poly notches or Olamana all three peaks, you know?
Right.
It should be just like, even Makapu'u, that's Makapu'u. That's actually, that might be below. That's probably
just
something
under
in between.
the level.
Something in between.
Yeah.
Like you got to have some sort of like challenge, but also not 10,000 steps going up.
Yeah, 1,200 steps, yeah.
The state, the federal, whatever, funds a zip line that goes from Cocoa Head all the way down to Sandy's, then I would support it.
All right.
If I ever get into politics, that's going to be my number one bill.
Oh my gosh.
A zip line from the top of Cocoa Head to Sandy's. And they could have a shuttle that takes you back to your car or whatever. Like
you got it all mapped out.
I think about this at night before going to sleep.
I see.
Yeah.
No, I do Cocoa Head, but I do it as a workout.
Okay.
Yeah.
But imagine going up there all hot, and then you go on a zip line down to Sandy's.
That would be epic.
Would you pay $5 for that?
I would.
$5
100%.
and you put that into conservation of the area, or of,
everybody wins.
Mauna Loa Bay or whatever. Like everybody wins.
I love that idea.
So Josh Green,
let's get that going.
The green bill. Add this to the green bill.
The zip line.
Yeah, the Cocoa Head zip line. Let's do it, people. I'm gonna post this and tag 808 Viral and everybody.
Get it going.
And if we get more than 10 likes, then the state has to do it.
10 likes.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Next question comes from FCKN Feao. I just realized when I was writing it down this morning, I didn't know who it was, but now I know who it is. How many different countries have you been to perform or for personal reasons?
I think it would be easier to say how many I haven't been to.
Oh.
Yeah. I've been to 5 countries in Africa, so I want to go explore a lot more of Africa. And I've only been to Japan in Asia. Mm-hmm. But I've been to every Caribbean, almost every single South American, all the states, Canada.
You've been to all the U.S. states?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Every single state.
I haven't met anybody that's done
really?
that.
Yeah. I mean, there's some that it's like,
hey, like drive.
Could skip them.
Yeah.
Like the Dakotas.
The drive-by, flyover states.
If you will.
Yeah.
But just did it to do it. Yeah. I've driven all the way from LA to New York a few times.
Wow.
Just for fun. And then also on tour. But yeah, I want to explore more of Asia and Africa for sure. I've never been to India. And I really want to go to the Maldives. Mm-hmm. But you have to go to India to get to the Maldives unless you charter a jet. I've already looked into it. So, I'm so grateful that my grandma was actually a travel agent when I was a little girl.
Oh, wow.
And because my mom was so young, I really was raised by my grandma and my mom then. And she used to take me on trips as young as 5 years old. And I would just go traveling with her all over. So I've been traveling even before I did music.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
You got to go to Madagascar. You did great there.
Yeah, I went to all the other islands like Mayotte, Seychelles, Mauritius.
Oh, nice.
Les Réunions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to all those places.
Oh, so cool.
Singing actually too.
No way.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I hear those I think it's Mauritius. Mm-hmm. It's similar to Hawaii.
Totally.
I think it was Mauritius.
Yeah, they're like volcanic.
It's Mauritius and something next to it was that
Mauritius and Mayotte probably.
Mayotte, okay.
Yeah. But all of those islands, the people were brown and they were like, oh, you're home. You're home. And it's like the maunas almost looked like ko'olau a little bit. It was trippy.
Yeah. Well, Madagascar is really interesting too because most people, they're not like stereotypically African looking,
Right.
like mainland Africa.
Yeah.
So it's like when I went there, it was like, wow, I swear some of you guys could pass as Filipinos.
Yeah,
over
totally.
here.
Yeah,
So
they're
it was
island
cool.
people.
Exactly. And like you go to the coast and they're darker. But like people go in the highlands or like not. It's a huge island, fourth largest island in the world. So you go to different parts and they look like Melanesian or like some sort of Polynesian. I mean, the language is in the same Austronesian family as Hawaiian, Maori, Micronesian, all of that. So there's a connection there.
For sure.
So yeah, that would be really cool for you to go.
Absolutely.
I can be your tour guide.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. And then Fiao says, what's your most favorite venue you've performed at?
That is a good question. Maybe the Paradiso in Amsterdam. It's a really legendary, it's like a cathedral that they turned into a venue. The only thing is, at the time, you could still smoke cigarettes in venues. And in Europe, everybody was smoking cigarettes.
Oh, yep.
So that was intense. But just the acoustics and the aesthetic and just the way that people receive music over there. Amsterdam is such an eclectic city, and my grandpa has some heritage that's Dutch. So I was also like reconnecting with, heritage and all of the things. But there's been like all the iconic artists have performed there. So I love performing in venues where I feel like people who I am inspired by, like their energy is still in the walls,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Super cool. Okay. Last questions come from our Patreon member, Jerry Salamante, our biggest fan. He always leaves questions. Shout out to you, Jerry.
Love that.
He says, which team would you choose as a favorite? From Chargers, Falcons, or Dolphins? Which one would your dad choose?
So he's done his research.
Well, he's a musician, so anytime we have musicians on the podcast, he like asks questions where I'm just like, how do you know this?
Right.
Yeah.
I love that.
So Jerry's he's a big fan.
Yeah. So those are the teams my dad played for in the NFL. Man, I mean, they've moved now too, right? The locations, like the Chargers when my dad played.
LA Chargers now.
They were in San Diego, so still California. Dolphins are still in Miami, right?
Dolphins still in Miami. Falcons we can skip over because they're in the NFC South, where they're rivals for the New Orleans Saints. So we can just skip over them.
Obviously, you have an opinion.
No, that's just an unbiased opinion.
Is it?
Yeah, that's just an unbiased opinion.
Okay. I mean, probably the Chargers. We're such California people, My dad is still in California now, so
Nice. And we have Aloha Gilman from,
Perfect. It aligns.
Goku boy.
Yes.
Yeah. Or Lē'ahi boy on that side.
Chee.
Yeah. Okay. And then he said, which one would your dad choose? Probably Chargers?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay. I like the Chargers. I like cheering for the Chargers.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Jerry says, how was it working with Chaka Khan, Blackstreet, Pink, etc.? And what differences did you see in their philosophy or approach to performing?
So Chaka Khan is a big powerhouse, but she's 5 feet tall. So
wow, I would never guess.
Yeah, she's tiny. Oh. So she's a legend. And I actually ended up working with her nieces and nephews, ironically. And then I was like, oh, I used to sing with your mom. So many connections. But she definitely was, everything was very dialed, super professional. When I sang with Pink, one of my first memories when we first started was we were rehearsing in LA, and it was like a lunch break, and she walked over to me because I was kind of like the newbie. I'd just been added to the band, and she grabbed a tomato out of my plate lunch. Like just put her, and if anybody knows me, I am OCD, hypochondriac, don't touch my drink. I have my own mic whenever I sing because I'm like not even sharing a mic, but she grabbed tomato and I was like, oh. And I just immediately responded like Hawaiian style. I was like, hey, don't do that. And everybody was like, oh, like you don't say that to her, kind of thing. And I was just like watching how everything played out. I was just like, wow, people are really scared of you. And so that dynamic, I was like, I don't ever want my crew to be afraid of me. There's definitely, there needs to be a leadership. and sort of like a hierarchy so that things can get done and organized. But at the same time, I don't know, there can be a balance of like not being, I don't know, like a dictator almost.
Yeah. I think if your crew or your band would be afraid, it's afraid of how much they love you.
There you go.
Yeah,
I like that.
That should be the goal.
That's the vibe. Irie Love.
Yeah.
More love.
And what about Blackstreet?
So Dave Hollister was the one that brought me in, and he was so much like a big brother to me. I think another thing that I just want to speak is, there's a lot of creeps. Being a female in music, there was a lot of guys that were super creepy, and I have some horror stories really that I'm sharing in my book because I believe in being transparent with Mana'o. And he was really like a big brother. He always made me feel safe. He always looked out for me. He said that I reminded him of his little cousin, so I think that helped with the association of just kind of protecting me. But it was really cool to learn more about the R&B side of things. He was, they're hip hop R&B. They were legends. I don't know if people know No Diggity, No Doubt. That was them. But I learned a lot. It was like a lot of vocal acrobatics, like I was mentioning earlier, that I hadn't really tapped into before. And they all grew up singing in church. I grew up singing in church, but it was in Kailua. So we didn't have like these incredible Philadelphia musicians, playing music at that level. So that was really a beautiful training ground for me.
Super cool. Awesome. All right. Last question comes again from Jerry. And this will just show how greatly researched everyone is in when he, I don't know how he does this. Maybe he's been following you for a long time. He says, following your junior year, once basketball was ruled out for a scholarship or career, did you ever consider working for your family's bakery?
No one has ever asked me that. I did not. I really feel like, so I modeled and I played sports and I sang. So it was like one of those three industries was really what I was focused on. And then by the time I think I graduated high school is when they made it an employee-owned company, which I think was really beautiful because then all these people who have put so much, energy into the company got to also like have ownership. I think that's really important. Cool. So yeah, I never really considered that, but
you know who was also like employee-owned is the Green Bay Packers, right?
No way.
Is it? Am I correct? Yeah.
Really?
They have no owners. It's all the fans are part owners.
Wow.
There's certain sports teams that are like that.
That's
Packers.
dope.
I don't know if there's anything else. Yeah. I just know the Packers for sure. That's why they have such a strong fan base.
That makes sense. Yeah. They have a vested interest.
People don't just like cheese. They like football. Yeah.
Yeah, collaboration is the magic of life, We have to remember that like we all hold our own frequency, and I say this so much, like no one can take anything away from you unless you give it away. So why not amplify each other by coming together and sharing frequency to then be a greater version of whatever can be manifested.
Awesome. So beautiful. All right. That's all we have for the questions. Mahalo, everybody, for leaving some questions. Make sure you leave some for our next guest, and maybe a question will make it on the podcast. All right. So we're going to come to the back end of the podcast, and I like to ask all of my guests the same questions about keeping it aloha. It's the name of the podcast. It's something I try to do every single day. It holds me accountable. It's the name of my book that's also coming out soon. Or hopefully by the time this airs, maybe it's out. I don't know. I don't want to be too optimistic. But in your life, how do you keep it aloha?
Authenticity. Yeah. I feel like the older I get, the more I realize how important it is to just be me everywhere that I go. And it's also easier because, like I was saying before, we create these characters that people expect us to show up as. And aloha to me, and I mean to all Hawaiians, it means so many things, right? But ultimately, the frequency of keeping it aloha to me is keeping it authentic.
Did you ever struggle with being authentic because of your diverse background? It's what box do I try to fit in? Because even, when we leave here, it's, that's one thing. But even growing up here, we have it depends who our friend group is, who we're raised with, the household. Like, I went to Hawaiian immersion school, but I wasn't raised in like a Hawaiian household. Ours was like local household,
Right.
like we weren't in the
Blended.
Loveʻ or whatever. But I got that part from my school.
Okay.
But in my household, it was like, we ate rice and pork and beans and, that
All the
stuff.
kind.
We weren't eating lau and fish and poi and kalo all the time.
Right.
So I always had like this push and pull of like, okay, I'm Hawaiian because I go to school here, but I feel more like Asian cultured, eating rice and doing all these other things. So it was always, it took me a while to really like be comfortable with my identity. And also like, I don't look that Hawaiian. So I was just like, people, when I'm not in my Hawaiian immersion school, they're like, oh, you're like the Hawaiian kid. But when I'm in my Hawaiian school, there's people that look way more Hawaiian than me. So I'm just like the Asian kid,
Yeah.
So it's funny.
True.
And then you go to, the continent, and then I'm the Mexican.
Right.
So
exactly.
It's confusing.
Yeah. I think that as an artist, like when people say, what is your style of music, even like genre is something that most artists I know, we don't really want to have a genre. Like we don't want to say a genre because we're just creating. And it's like, we put these labels, I think, so that people can reference like a familiarity and say, oh, I'd probably like that because I liked other styles in that similar vein. But being multi-ethnic and multicultural and multi-everything, it's definitely like I moved to LA and like the Black girls called me like Oreo and like teased me for having a blended family. And, I got a lot of hate for it. And over here, it's like people were more keen to being brown. Like brown was what you wanted to be. Like the darker you could get, it was like,
I hate it when I would get like too white and pale. Honestly, like I'm always trying to chase the sun just to get. It's just like a thing that's ingrained in me, and it's not even just like a racial thing for me. It's just like a confidence thing.
Totally.
Like I feel more confident being darker here in Hawaii.
Yes, exactly. So experiencing both of those sides, it was almost like, I don't know what or who I am. I mean, in Washington, I got super light and I was like, my people that know me here are like, are you sick? Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just not in the sun as much.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel like I've had to find my own, and it's not necessarily that I'm going to be able to choose one label or the other. I am all of it and learning what that means, because now I think it's easier because I grew up, everybody was like maybe 2 things. Now I think everybody's like at least 4 things. Like we're all becoming more and more blended. So it's really just in refining who you are as a person. And then I feel like it's almost like we are the meal, and then like what kind of seasonings do you have on it that makes it different, right?
Yeah.
But we're all still humans.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's funny because when I was in the Peace Corps and just, you meet all the people from the continent, wherever, it's funny learning that some people are just 1 or 2 things.
Yeah.
That was so because when I'm telling them like, oh, I'm Hawaiian, Korean, Japanese, Portuguese, all this, they're like, what? And then I'm like, what are you? Like Caucasian or just like Mexican? Like, it's like one thing.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy because I don't think I know anybody in my life here that's just one thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's fascinating to us.
Yeah,
we're so blended.
Also, when let's see if I can find it really quick. I just gotta show you this. When I was you're talking about like when you're in Washington getting really pale. When I went to Madagascar, I lived in the highlands, so I was like a day or 2 away from the ocean.
Oh wow.
So like I didn't go to the ocean for like, or see that much sun or hang out shirtless, in the sun for a really long time. So when I went to the coast during I think it was my first Christmas or maybe second, I forget, but I have this picture of me like slacklining on this stuff, but I put it like side to side
with
each other, and it's crazy. I was like, I didn't even know my skin could get like that.
Right.
Yeah, I'll show you after. I was gonna put it on the podcast, but it's actually really crazy. Yeah,
the side by side. Did you
the
post
side by
it?
side? I think it's on my Facebook. I mean, yeah, but I was looking at my favorites on my like iPhone photos, but it's actually really crazy. But yeah, as I do this, as I find it,
Right.
what is one of your favorite places that you've traveled to?
I love Japan.
Oh, everybody else loves
Really?
chooses Japan.
Is
I
it
mean,
the
of course, because
number one
I've
answer?
been to Japan. It's awesome.
It's also like
Yeah,
part of our culture,
exactly.
like,
Yeah.
so it's almost like a homecoming at the same time as like
Hmm.
exploring. Japan to me is like its own world. It doesn't
Hmm.
even feel like it's a part of the rest of the world. They just really have their own unique, rich way of living. And also, there aren't a lot of places that I visited where there aren't like, I mean, Tokyo is really diverse, but still, it's mostly Japanese.
Hmm.
So it's really fun for me, especially because I'm so tall and
Oh,
so
they're just
brown.
like
Yeah, they're like, oh, like
they do the same in Madagascar because people are
really,
short over there. Yeah,
really
yeah.
interesting. So they must be super indigenous then, because the little
Yeah.
people, like, yeah,
Well, I think malnutrition as well plays a factor.
okay,
Not to laugh about that.
just the
Sorry.
coconuts.
Yeah,
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 coconuts keep you short.
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, Japan is definitely one of my number one favorite
Uh-huh.
places. I could go there a million times. I've considered living there a few
Really,
times.
it's actually not too bad. Like you could buy a house there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for like $100,000.
Yeah.
We can't even fathom that
I know.
here.
We could get a bathroom for that. Yeah.
Exactly. Maybe.
You get the
Rundown.
carpet in the living room. That's
Fixer
all.
upper.
Yeah. This is a picture here, and I'll show. Oh, look right there. I took one of
Whoa.
me like
Yeah, it looks like a different person.
totally right. Yeah, I love.
Only if you had definitive tattoos would I know that it's the same person.
Yeah, yeah, and I had long hair too, but here I don't
Yeah.
know if you guys can see just the color. I don't know if the camera can see
Pick it
maybe
up.
like that. Yeah,
That's
but
wild.
yeah, I've never seen my skin like look that white before. But it's crazy. I guess when you don't have sun, it's just that's what
Yeah,
happens.
the melanin goes dormant.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I don't know if I can get that light, but
Yeah, yeah. I didn't know I could get that way. But anyways, all right. So after all the things that you've done, in your career so far, and you're in this like reawakening of this, like your album's called Reflection. I feel
yeah.
like it's like a culmination of everything you reflected on in the past and leading up into this, where
Yeah.
it also aligns with your book coming out as well, sharing all these lessons that you've learned with people. So in your life, like what would you say you're most grateful for up to this point?
Honestly, what I'm most grateful for is pain.
Hmm.
Pain has been the most transformative catalyst in my life. And this is something that's taken me a long time to be able to even say that, right? Because I think most people try to avoid pain.
Mm-hmm.
It's uncomfortable. But through pain, I have been able to birth or maybe embody bigger, stronger, more powerful versions of myself that I would not have had access to maybe in a different type of pain. I could have maybe switched things around, but I know that pain is a catalyst in the same way that I push my body
Mm-hmm.
and I do a workout and my legs, I'm coming down cocoa head and my calves are shaking,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's the breaking of the muscle fibers so that they can rebuild and be stronger. And now when I do cocoa head, my legs aren't sore at all.
Mm-hmm.
So the growth does happen,
Yeah.
So I'm so grateful for pain and my ability and the collection of modalities that I have to move through pain.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, we hear the term growing pains, right?
Yeah.
With anything, not just like physical, but like mental, emotional. Even when you're starting a business,
Yeah.
the podcast, if you check out our first episodes, they were painful to watch
Right.
probably. I've had times where I forgot to record, or
Oh, I know.
deleted the thing by accident, or I just wasn't
Yes.
good at interviewing that day. So, you gotta go through, those painful times
Yeah.
so that you can grow. And, growth happens in uncomfortability, right? So
Discomfort, yeah. Yeah.
I think is such a good thing to bring up and something we talk about a lot.
Good, yeah.
Well, what was Roman just shared, like at the what was he saying? It's like something pain, it was just a little rain or something. Yeah, he said that line and I thought that it was so good, where it's just like, we need a little rain to appreciate the good, right? We
Yeah,
need a little
exactly.
pain to appreciate our body feeling strong and going down cocoa head without that pain anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the duality, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this life we have both sides. And so as dark and as deep and as painful as you can go means that you can go to higher heights and
Mm-hmm.
higher joys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
finding that ebb and flow, but also just also acknowledging that, you know, pain can be very traumatic. And so it is really important to find modalities, like we were saying, going
Mm-hmm.
into nature, finding people that are community that can support you to help you move through it. I definitely have built an incredible tribe, especially of women and women healers who I have access to that I really tap into
Mm-hmm.
anytime I'm going through something. I'm like, it's good to have solitude. It's really powerful and transformative, but I think we need both. We need
Mm-hmm.
solitude and we also need community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And a zip line on Coco Head.
And the zipline on Coco
Yeah,
Head.
to save more
You
pain.
better be on it if it happens.
Yeah, and this
because-
episode is brought to you by the Coco Head Coalition. I don't know if I can say that. Sorry, we'd have to cut that out. Sorry, Evan. But seriously, Coco Head, we need a zip line. Okay, yeah.
The Shangri-La sponsored Coco Head
Yeah,
zipline.
the episode's just gonna go beep. Just gonna cut out.
No, this is the bloopers for the Patreon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exclusives.
Yeah, we'll do that. No, we leave everything in. It's fine.
Insider info.
The whole episode's a blooper. The parts that I'm speaking and then the parts that you're speaking is the good stuff.
It's just gonna be
Yeah.
blank.
All right, so I like to ask all my guests this question as well. It's one of my favorite questions to ask. What is one thing you wish people knew about you that they don't?
That's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'm pretty authentic, transparent. I definitely now am trying to make sure that I do keep some things private, which is a little challenging in today's world and for what I do. But I can be really funny. And I keep talking about launching a comedy career. I love monologuing. I've always wanted to do Broadway.
Mhm.
That's always been a big dream of mine.
Well, native Hawaiian just won the Tony Award. Shout out to
Exactly.
Nicole Scherzinger.
Yes.
So, I mean, paving the path for
Exactly.
the
The
future.
door is
Yeah.
open. Ready to walk through those portals in any way that I can. Shout out to Manaola. He has been a brother of mine for many years now, collaborating with him in so many ways. So grateful for his art and all that he does for us in that space. You know, he's really the first person that I connected with that allowed me access to like couture things and like seeing couture done in an indigenous way was just like so aligned for me, you know? So, yeah, I would love to share more of that, of who I am, that aspect of me.
Totally. I would love to see you on Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some shows, but it's something that I want to try to do more. I want to try to go to New York before Sunset Boulevard
Period.
finishes, which is probably a couple weeks from when this episode comes out. So that would be really cool just to see like
Yeah.
Hawaiians on Broadway. I know
Exactly.
there's a couple of people who are like in the theater. I know there's my sister's friend. I think Makoa is his name.
Okay.
I think he's in New York and on Broadway. I don't know. Evan, do you know who that is? Makoa? I think that's his name.
Makoa.
Makoa. Is he in New York doing Broadway or something? Kanoi's friend? Is that his name, Makoa? Yeah. He's on Broadway, yeah? Yeah.
That's epic.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
people like
We're
that.
out
I
there.
think. We're out there. Yeah. People just don't know it.
Yeah.
Unless you're Nicole Scherzinger, but we got people out there.
Right. Yeah. Coming
Okay.
soon.
Coming soon to a theater, near
near
you.
you, literally.
Okay. So before we start wrapping up, I gotta know, what is your life hack? Were you able to think of one?
Yeah. So my life hack is actually solitude and hydration. Again, I find that a lot of people don't like being alone. Loneliness or boredom, I feel like, are the spaces that if we can go there and sit with ourselves, you can gather so much, you can heal so much, you can expand on so much of who you are, you can build your confidence. Because if we're constantly seeking, and especially in the world of social media, seeking all this external validation, then to me, we're outsourcing our power. And there'll be times that you don't have access to those outsourced powers. So I really highly recommend, and it doesn't have to be meditation. A lot of people use the word meditation, and I feel like that is polarizing. It's like some people don't know what that is. Maybe they don't resonate because of their religious beliefs or whatever. But to me, it's just literally being alone, going for a walk in your neighborhood safely by yourself, like take your dog on a longer walk than you usually would, just to literally be alone with yourself and see what kind of self-talk is really going on. Because a lot of that is happening subconsciously, and it is programming our daily lives and how we see ourselves. And it's affecting the way that we step into rooms and things that we choose to do. We become more bold, more fearless, more adventurous when we really get to know ourselves. And that happens in solitude.
Yeah, kako'o. I mean, that's why I had so much accelerated growth when I lived in Madagascar, because I was alone in my house for years with no Wi-Fi and, anything to keep me distracted. So I was able to think of so many cool ideas. And, I feel like you need a little boredom to, come up with these ideas as well.
Exactly.
But people are afraid to be bored. So that's why we're always on our phones or have some sort of stimulation going on. But, anytime I'm like driving, maybe that's my alone time, and drive with the radio off, and I start thinking of cool ideas, or in the shower, any time where you could have a little bit alone time and just come up with cool ideas or just reflect on life. I think we need a little bit more of that.
Yeah, be with yourself. I literally learned to be my own best friend. I know that sounds hilarious,
I
but
always believe that.
it's real. I genuinely enjoy my own company. And so then it also helps you with boundaries and the people that you allow to come into your life, where you're like, I love being by myself. So if I'm allowing someone to come in, it's because I want you here, not because I need you here or I feel I need validation from you. I enjoy your company. Come enjoy me with me.
That's exactly my mindset.
Right?
You nailed it on the
So
perfect.
aligned.
Awesome. All right. So before I let you go, I just have my last fast fave 5 questions. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Here we go. Oh, actually, sorry. Before we do this, what are your future goals from here? 5, 10, 20-year plans. What can we expect? So we got the new album, part 2 of the album, the books, Broadway maybe.
Yeah. Broadway. Definitely want to release as much music as possible in the next 5 years. I would like to get my own place to live in Hawaii on my home island.
That's the goal. In Waimanalo.
Exactly.
God's country.
How'd you know, Rob?
Right next to my Nalo bad boy. So I do this. I don't know if anybody gets it, but I went
I don't know what that is.
Oh, right there.
She got him.
Because I went to school with some people, and they had the Nalo bad boy, exactly like that, where it's the eyes over here.
Oh my God. Yeah. So 5 years, get my own place, release as much music in the book as possible. And then 10 years, I really want to be well established in my Mana Wahina mentorship and movement, and have that be established with branches in different countries. I was hanging out with some girls from Aotearoa at Mary Monarch this year and just sharing mana'o all weekend. And it was so beautiful and empowering. And their Mana Wahine frequency in Aotearoa is really, really active. So tapping into that with them, and maybe having, I don't know, Japan or wherever it can spark, I feel like planting these seeds and then scattering them out and making it a movement where women are really collectively coming together to love and empower each other is a huge part of my passion in life. And then, I don't know, 20 years, I probably want to slow down a little bit and get more into cultivating whatever land I'm living on and sharing it with my nieces and nephews. I have 7 of them right now. They're still in production because I'm the eldest. So there's a lot of kids on the way. And I have chosen to not have children in this life. I have no desire to be a mother. So I'm mothering in so many other ways. So definitely want to expand on that as much as possible.
Yeah, you just play with the kids and then you give them back.
Send them back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you be the cool auntie. That's like my
Write
thing,
songs like Believe and inspire them.
Exactly, inspire them, and then spoil them, and then give them back.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of Hilo, Mary Monarch, Peggy's, you ever seen this guy Evan at Peggy's? Yeah. You talked about the Aotearoa people. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I seen that guy
We
at Peggy's
had a
one day.
time. We had a time.
All right. Last fast five questions. These are just rapid fire answers, okay?
Okay.
Favorite karaoke song?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Ooh, that's a good. Do you do all the parts?
Oh yeah, with my
You're just like,
friends. Oh yeah, we're all over
You
the
ever
place.
seen that one video of the one guy? He's in the mirror and he's like doing like switching the camera angles.
No.
Oh, it's so cool.
I need
I'll
to
send
do
it
that.
if I see it. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
But it's really cool and funny
Yeah.
at the same time. Okay, and then favorite guilty pleasure.
Favorite guilty pleasure? French fries and vegan ice cream.
Oh,
Is
nice.
that a guilty pleasure?
French fries and ice cream is good.
Okay.
I haven't had fast food in like years, but I
Right.
remember when I used to go to McDonald's, I'd get the French fries and the ice
Dip
cream
'em in
cone,
the
and
cone.
that thing is so good.
See, she goes.
Yeah, yeah.
Shout out to Neo Soft Serve. That's my
Oh
favorite
yeah,
place.
I like New.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vegan.
Where are they located now?
They're right off of King Street now.
King Street. Okay, I first went to them when they had like a little pop up.
Yeah. He's doing
yeah.
so well. I'm so
Okay,
stoked
awesome.
for them.
Okay, a favorite vacation destination. I mean, are you probably gonna say Japan?
No,
Okay,
honestly,
cool.
Yeah, I would say the Caribbean.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Jamaica. I lived in Jamaica for 3 years, but all of the Caribbean, I'm such a island girl. I love islands anywhere, but the beaches for me, they're just less tourists. Here in Hawaii, it's been really challenging to still enjoy these magical places when they're just like packed with tourists. So yeah, there's so many magical places in the Caribbean where you can literally, my family's gone there sometimes for family vacay, and it's like we have a private beach to ourselves, and it's not super high maka. It's just there's so much beach accessible there that you can just really be with the water and the honu and yeah.
Madagascar is similar.
Is
like
it?
that when you go to certain places?
Yeah.
Okay, favorite TV show or movie?
My favorite movie, oh my goodness. You know what I love? That I'm just gonna say, you said quick fire, right? So Pulp Fiction.
Okay, nice. That's a
Pulp
good one.
Fiction is a classic. But I also love comedy. So I'd also say Wayne's World, which is
okay.
really dating myself. But yeah, Wayne's World. What was the other question?
Or TV show or movie.
Or
So
TV show. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, and last one. Favorite post-performance snack? What's the first thing after you do a show?
I don't really eat. No, but another one of my like guilty pleasures probably is my sister then will laugh. Chips, but specifically there's these jalapeno healthy Cheetos from like Down to Earth or Whole Foods that I'm obsessed with. And to me, the bag is a portion. It's not to share. I eat the whole bag in one setting.
As you should.
I love the crunch, the spice, the organic cheese.
Yeah.
It's a vibe.
Speaking of Down to Earth, have you seen that viral like mango sticky rice smoothie that everybody's talking about? I've seen a bunch of people post about that.
No way.
So there's a mango sticky rice smoothie at Down to Earth. I haven't tried it yet.
Try it.
So we got to try it.
Period.
Yeah. Okay. That's all we got for you. Mahalo for coming on here, driving down to Shangri-La. Mahalo to Shangri-La for hosting us.
Yes.
Shout out to Evan.
Yes.
And the crew. Is there anything else you want to share before we wrap up? If not, tell us where we can find you.
Yeah. The message I always give is to be kind. I think it's a simple thing that we can all do is be kind. And you can find me. This is Irie Love is like my tag for everything. My website, my Instagram, all the kind. This is Irie Love. Except for my TikTok, which is Irie Love. This is Yoda.
Changing it up. Yeah.
Irie Love. This is
Star Warsing us.
Yeah. But yeah.
Okay, right on. Well, don't go anywhere. I'm gonna close out the show, but we have a performance that you're gonna see right after this. So I'm just gonna do my thing. Mahalo, Irie, for joining us on the Keep It Low podcast. Spread love, be kind to one another, and mahalo for listening to us today. We have new episodes every Thursday, so make sure you follow us and leave a review. I'm your host, Kamaka. And remember to always keep it Irie Love. But aloha too.
Keep it aloha. my love, why do you wanna go so far away? My heart won't let you go, oh no. When I'm laying in the sun on the beach, I know my phone, you say you just can't reach, no. But that don't mean that you're not on my mind all the time, baby. And when I'm surfing up on the North Shore, you know it's you that I'm longing for. All I can do is think of you. It's you I adore. I need you more. My love, my love, my love. Why do you wanna go so far away? My heart won't let you go. Oh no. My love, my love, my love. Why do you wanna go away? You know I love you, babe. Yeah. In every season, you say there's a reason why you can't be by my side. But I don't understand how you can stay away for so long from sweet Hawaii name. My love, my love, my love. Why do you wanna go so far away? My heart won't let you go. Oh no. My love, my love, my love. Why do you wanna go away? You know I love you, babe. We say it's time for a love takeover. Come and rub-a-dub me, rest your head pon me shoulder. Me, I give you loving like you never knew. Me, I gonna show you what this real island gal want fi do. It's time for a love takeover. Come and rub-a-dub me, rest your head pon me shoulder. Me, I give you loving like you never knew. Me, I gonna show you what this real island gal want fi do. My love, my love, my love. Why do you wanna go so far away? My heart won't let you go. Oh no. My love, my love, my love. Why do you wanna go away? You know I love you, babe. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Ooh, 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 yeah. Ooh, yeah. Irie Love loves you, baby. Yeah, 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 yeah. Shangri-La, keep it aloha.